My name is Chris Crone, and today we're talking about stupid businesses that make loads of money. And it comes down to 3 specific rules. I've got standards in every aspect of my life, and when it comes to business, there's no exception. I'm gonna share with you the 3 rules and standards that I use that help me make stupid money. Check it out.
'Cause we're gonna be legends. What we're doing here ain't just scary. It's about to be legendary.
So check it out. I just turned 40 years old, and I'm so excited because I've been looking forward to my 40s for like a whole decade. Because think about it, when you're in your 20s, you're experimenting, you're trying to figure out what you like, you're gonna screw things up, you're definitely gonna make dumb decisions, and you might make a few good ones. In your 30s, hopefully you start finding your groove, and then you're gonna learn what works and what doesn't. But I've always looked forward to my 40s because I'm like, man, by the time I get to my 40s, I'm gonna like be freaking racehorse. I'm gonna be zoned in. I got 20 years of experience under my belt and I know how to go. I've created more wealth in the last 2 years than I have in the first 2 decades of working. And so I'm super excited about this. And what have I learned? Like, why am I excited about this video today? Because here's what I've learned. Standards are everything. You know, as a moral person, I have standards about my morality. When I married my wife, I made a decision. I decided that I'm not gonna mess around, I'm not gonna fool around, I'm not gonna have other women in my life, and I'm gonna even when my wife isn't looking like all the beautiful eye candy that's out there, I'm going to dedicate all of that sexual energy and momentum to my marriage. And it's a personal standard. You've gotta have standards in your life. And you have to know what those standards are. I always thought that standards, though, was a game of ethics and morality. You know what I've since learned? Standards is in business. Standards is in finances. Standard is in relationships. Standards are everywhere. And your standards are ultimately determining what you can get out of life. Today, I'm going to share with you, like I said, 3 standards that I now have in business that allow me to slay it and crush it and make as much money as possible. So I want to break this down for you today and kind of share with you what this looks like. So check this out. There's 3 rules that have brought me so far in business. Just like in real estate, I have rules. Like if you've had a chance to read this book, I've done 4,000 real estate transactions where I've helped my partners make lots of money. I buy homes every single day. My wealth is exploding through the roof, and it's because I've decided what my standards are, and people that like my standards want to play with me. So they bring money to the table, and then things blow up. But in business, I have standards too. So what I want to do in this video is I wanted to share with you 3 simple rules that I have in business that allow my standards. These 3 rules are like standards, and they help me grow my business. Here's the first one. Innovation. Innovation means to create value. Right now, what can you do that someone else is doing, but do it better than them? You should be striving to be the very best in your industry and the best you know how to do it. Why? Because people will pay more for someone that innovates and is doing the best that they know how. So innovation is one of my standards. If I'm just doing what someone else is doing and I'm not bringing anything new to the table, I'm not creating new value, which means I should just get what other people get. But if you want to make 5 times the normal money, 10 times the normal money, then you've got to innovate and find a way to bring more value to the marketplace than other people are. My second rule that took me way too long to learn is that I need to have an endless source of leads. And what I mean by that is that business, no matter how much you love your product, no matter how much you love this idea, no matter how experienced or perfect you are for delivering the value, if you don't have an endless or solid base of customers, then you're in trouble. You're not going to be able to do the amount of business that you want. You might make killer margins or have a killer product, but if you can't serve enough people, you'll never make enough money, you'll never have your success, and you'll never help the number of people that you want. So when I actually evaluate a business, because I have several of them, I'm always asking, what's the lead scenario? Just yesterday, a buddy of mine at the gym was pitching me an idea. He says, what about this? And I automatically thought, how are you getting leads? I don't know. If the product's really amazing, we'll figure the leads out. I'm like, you don't have a business plan. I am not participating in that. At least I didn't say it out loud. It's just what I was thinking in my head, which is if I can't see a machine for leads, a marketing plan, then it doesn't matter what you're innovating. It doesn't matter how good the product is. You have to know how to tap into a number of people. And then the third rule that has become crazy important to me is what I call delegation. Delegation is real simple. You have to ask yourself right now, why are you really going into business in the first place? Is it to make money? Okay, that's not a good enough reason. You won't be driven to necessarily innovate. Money-motivated people usually don't have enough vision to take an idea as far as it really can. One of the things that you need to consider when it comes to delegation is whether you want to be an owner or whether you want to be an operator. I hope I'm spelling that right. What's the difference between an owner and an operator? Operators get tired and owners get rich. That comes from Keith Cunningham. I want to give him credit on that. Tony Robbins, one of my mentors, talks all the time about the difference between being an owner and an operator. Reality is, as an operator is a person working in the business, and an owner simply gets the results of the business. So I used to work 80 to 100-hour weeks, and I was the operator, and I was bleeding and sweating and I was tired and tears and doing everything I could. And I've learned if this business isn't good enough to run independent of me, then I'm trapped and I'm a slave, and I'm probably better off with a 9-to-5 job working for somebody else and having cushy benefits. So what did I have to learn? I had to learn how to delegate, and I also had to learn how to become an owner. That means that for me, I had to learn how to trust other individuals to step in and do it, and then surround myself with the better talent pool that could do it better than me. Because you're only as good as your people around you. So you got to surround yourself with the best people. The people holding these cameras, they're amazing. They're really good at what they do. You surround yourself with great, intelligent people. You're not in business to train people. You're in business to rock business and create massive value. Don't be a training program, and don't hire people trying to reduce expenses and wages and then bringing on second or third tier talent. So these 3 rules, these are standards. In business, I got to bring innovation to the table. I have to have an endless source of leads, and I already need to be able to delegate. Brand new business, it's 2 months already in the running, it's making crazy amounts of money, and I'm working maybe 1 or 2 hours a week on it. And in a month or 2, I will be putting in 1 or 2 hours a month. It has to be that way. Because another one of my standards, if you haven't watched some of my other videos, is I have a standard when it comes to my time. And I'm going to share a private rule right now that's going to, I think, rock some of your worlds a little bit. For me, one of the ways that I value my time is that when I am in business, one of the decisions that I've decided to make is that there's a certain amount of money a startup has to be able to produce. I need a startup to produce no less than $5,000 an hour in its first 10 hours, which means if I put in 10 hours of my time, I'm going to be compensated $50,000. Now, I'm compensated $50,000 because I've elected that that's how good the opportunity needs to be. That means that I'm saying no to a lot of things if they can't even come close. Why would I say yes to something that earns me less? That means that I'll never get what I really want out of it. But I have a second standard. After I put my 10 hours in, then I need to start earning $20,000 an hour, and ultimately $100,000 an hour. The opportunity I'm working on right now, it is doing just this. It is meeting my standard. Here's what happens when you actually have standards. You see, in business, when I talk about innovation, lead generation, delegation, these are standards. If you don't have standards, then you'll end up getting what you tolerate in life. You won't actually get what you want. In life, we don't get what we want. We get what we tolerate. So right now, what my standards are is they are already my way of pre-designated yeses and no's. So people will watch my videos, like me, want to partner with me, do business with me. And so they reach out and they email my team and they say, I got an opportunity for Chris. My team knows my standards. If it doesn't match my standards, they're not going to say yes to that opportunity. Now, my standards allowed me to retire by the time I graduated college. I clearly didn't retire because I'm still working. After I used to work my butt off, I don't do that anymore either. Right now, I've balanced my life between a lot of pleasure, time, spirituality, parenting. I've got 4 little niños that I love putting my time and energy into. And I'm finding this work-life balance of just loving my life and loving my work. And that means me working in afternoons. It is currently the afternoon I'm shooting this video. And I only do things that I love. And I love producing these videos for you. I hope if you're watching it right now, you're getting some serious value out of this. there was a set of standards, 5 criteria that I wrote about in this book. You can get it for free in the link below. But I decided, because a lot of people don't read, I decided to actually make a video based on this book. It's a short video. It's coming up next here in the top corner. If you watch that video, it's definitely going to reveal my 5 standards and rules for exactly what I did that allowed me to be financially free by the age of 26. And all I really wish for you is to live a happy, amazing, fulfilling life. For you to be fulfilled, you have to ask yourself, what are the standards that will fulfill me? What are the standards that are going to help me live the life of my dreams? When you get the answer to that question, you run a much higher likelihood of someday laying down in that grave, deathbed scenario, and saying, I loved my life. I loved what became of it, and I loved the result that I produced because of the standards that I created. My friend, have standards, know what you want. And if you want to know my standards for building wealth and real estate really quickly, watch this next video. You're going to love it.